What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we're here today with the continuation of Love After Lockup. I think this is season 3. I think this is episode number 13. The episode was titled "Put a Sweater On and Chill." It was hilarious. And we also know that Life After Lockup, it returns in November. And they're adding 2 new couples to Life After Lockup. They're adding Lynn and Chevelle, and Lindsay and Scott. I'm going to do 4. I don't know what I was doing. But yeah, they're adding those couples to Life After Lockup. But you guys, without further ado, let's jump into this review, shall we? So this episode was a good one, you guys. I'm going to go in the flow of the episode. So Maurice and Jessica. You guys remember in the last half of the season, Maurice and Jessica were having this thing about him, being on parole in California. You remember they drove to Vegas. I don't know why, but they drove to Vegas. And we finally found out that he has a travel pass. Now, this travel pass has some restrictions. One big restriction is it's a monthly pass. So he can go there, but he has to go back to LA at the end of the month to get a new monthly pass. I'm like, okay, whatever. So then, she also does tell Maurice that, she is 3 weeks late and she's potentially pregnant. Now, for a minute there, I'm like, do you not catch what she's saying when she says she's 3 weeks late? I'm like, dude, she's telling you she might be pregnant. So then he was like, go get a pregnancy machine. I'm like, a pregnancy machine? You mean a pregnancy test? She says, I already have one. So, she takes the pregnancy test. He wants to sit and watch her take the pregnancy test. I'm like, dude, why would you want to see her pee on a stick? But, she comes out, she gives him the pregnancy test. He says, so what am I looking for? She says, it'll be 2 lines if I'm pregnant. And surprise, surprise, 2 lines showed up and they're pregnant. And he wants to just take a picture of the pregnancy test right then and there and send it to everybody that they know. She was like, no, let's hold off on it because, this could be a false positive. He's like, these things are 100%. I'm like, no, dude. Pregnancy test is not 100%. Pregnancy test can give you a false positive. That's why it's better to go to the doctor, have them do blood work. That way, for sure that you're pregnant. But that's it for Maurice and Jessica. I mean, he ain't even been out of jail that long. And y'all already pregnant. Congratulations, nonetheless. Let's move on. All right, you guys. So we got the continuation of Shawn and Destiny. My God, Shawn and Destiny. And you guys remember when we left off, 5 weeks ago, well, technically 4 weeks ago, when we left off with them the last time, you remember she was punching him in the fucking face and he was getting ready to go to work at that time. And this is all behind Kelly, his baby mama. So, this is the aftermath. He looking at his nose. I'm like, damn. I mean, I get why. I was like, damn, he should have called the police on her ass, but that's abuse. But if he called the police on her, that's your $50,000 going right down the drain. So, I mean, I guess I can't knock him too much, but goddamn, I mean, she hit you harder than a motherfucker. And then he talking about he hate to leave her upset. I'm like, dude, she just punched you in the fucking face. Leave. Put some space between you. And I do realize that Shawn is afraid of losing his $50,000. But dude, you the one that went out on the limb and did that. No one told you to put this money on the line for this woman. You freely did it. Even your friend Hector tried to warn you. Speaking of Hector, he went to work and, he was telling Hector what happened. And I died laughing because Hector busted out laughing. Because when Hector laughed, I died laughing. Because Hector tells him, like, this sounds really stupid. Like, you put this money up for this woman that you did not know against your own better judgment. I still, for the life of me, don't know why he did this. He had not saw this woman. He had not had sex with this woman. But you just freely put up $5,000. But if she doesn't go to court, that's $50,000 that you off the hook for. Like, dude, that was stupid. And then he's talking about he still wants to fucking marry her. I'm like, dude, you have got to be dumb. You still want to marry this woman after she just punched you in the face for talking to the mother of your kids. Does that sound like a rational human being to you? And does that sound like somebody that you would want to marry? I mean, I guess in Shawn's world, yes. In my world, no. So then we see Destiny. Destiny is talking to her sister. Destiny is still upset about the fact that he was talking to Kelly on the phone. And I'm still sitting here thinking to myself, like, you got to be as dumb as he is. Like, why are you upset? Like, she's like, I get that he has kids with her, but you can talk to the kids without talking to her. If the kids are minors, you kind of have to go through the parent. Like, well, not necessarily, but I mean, it's a respect thing for the mother of your kids who is clothing them, putting clothes on their back, putting food in their mouths, providing them a place to have a place for them to, go to sleep at night. It's a common courtesy to talk to their mother. Yes, it's safe to say this girl is just a wackadoodle, like wackadoodle. I can't even say any other way. She's crazy. But I'm just stuck on the fact that Shawn still considers himself wanting to marry her. Why? What redeeming qualities does she have? She's an alcoholic. She's an alcoholic, one. She's a liar, just like you. And she is volatile. Those are not good qualities to have. So then we see Shawn. So he finally returns home from work and, he's walking around the house, Destiny. I'm like, you worried about that $50,000, huh? Hindsight is 2020, huh? It's 2020. 2020 is a fucked up year. But that is going to wrap it up right there for Shawn and Destiny. Will we see Destiny? I don't know, and I don't honestly care, to be quite honest with you guys, but let's move on. All right, you guys, let's move over to Lindsay and Scott. So with Lindsay and Scott, it's not much with them in this episode. Lindsay has this ankle monitor on, and I'm assuming that this is like at the beginning of, the pandemic situation. Because when she got out of prison, she had to quarantine for 2 weeks. So I'm wondering, I know at that time they were told people to stay in their houses. Because like now they're saying if you come in contact with someone who has the virus, then quarantine for 14 days. So I don't know when his timeline is for her, but nonetheless, she got her ankle monitor, and she got to stay on. She can't go out the house. Period. I'm like, God damn. So she's still in jail because she can't do anything. So would that have been the same situation if she had went to her halfway house? Like, God damn. Because I know in the halfway house they do give you certain privileges, but like with Christiana, which we didn't see in this episode, you can go out, but you have to look for employment. So I guess Lindsay doesn't have to look for employment no time soon. Okay, whatever. So then, she calls Miley Grace on the phone. She's talking to her because unfortunately, like I said before, with her having a quarantine for the 14 days, that means Miley Grace can't come and visit her. And then on top of that, that room ain't finished. So Scott is telling us in his confessional, his interview with the producers, that he has a surprise for Lindsay. And I will say that this scene that I saw, it was really cute and it was really sweet when I saw Lindsay with her daughter. Although they couldn't, physically touch each other, they were talking to each other through the screen door. And I'm like, oh, that's sweet and cute. For Lindsay's daughter's sake, I hope that Lindsay stays on the right path. Because, her grandmother's talking about how Lindsay has, her checkered past. So for the sake of her daughter, I do hope that Lindsay stays on the up and up. But with them being on life after lockup, I would assume so. Maybe, maybe not. We shall see how this goes. I don't think she's going to be with Scott for very long, but hey, we shall see. Let's move on. All right, guys, next, let's discuss Lynn, and Chevelle. I'm over her with this flat ass hair. It just bothers me immensely. Like, you got this weave that's got a lot of body and bounce, but the top of your hair is just flat. But okay, whatever. So Chevelle has taken Lynn to see her pastor who works with men who have gotten out of prison. So then, we see that, Chevelle and her daughter Maila, they go off and do their little thing, leaving Quaylon to talk to the pastor. So basically, in a nutshell, Quaylon is telling the pastor that he's overwhelmed, which I would imagine he is, because he just got out of jail. He comes home to an instant family. Then he has this girlfriend that wants him to marry her in 6 months. He doesn't have a job, but he got to be a provider for a family that he just came home to. And excuse me, y'all, that ain't the Rona. So I get it. I do get it. He feels the pressure. I get that. And when it comes down to it, I will say that I'm gonna place equal blame on both Chevelle and Quaylon. And I'll explain to you guys why I place equal blame on both parties. He was in prison, so he was just, I don't necessarily want to say that he was playing her, but what I want to say is I feel like he was telling her things that at that time he felt like, yeah, I want to do this when I get home, because they gave him something to look forward to once he got into the outside world. But now that he's on the outside world, it's reality is actually sinking in. That, damn, I told this girl that I'm gonna live with her. I told this girl that I'm gonna be a father to her daughter. I even told her that we're gonna get married, but he didn't plan in the future because, again, he has no job, number one, and he's also worried about the fact of, with me having this felony record, who is going to actually hire me? Which, that is a good question. Now, I know there are places in the world where you can go and get a job. Even if you have a felony record, people don't even hold that against you. But most places will hold that against you. So that's where I'm gonna place the fault on him. Now with her, I'm gonna place the fault on her squarely, because you knew better. He knew better as well, but you definitely knew better. Like, you got to think about your daughter. You got this man coming home, living with you. Your daughter is calling him daddy. Like, you should have vetted. You should have been like, okay, Quaylon, whatever your name is, I get that you want to come home and do this for me, do this for Maila. I get that. But we got to make a plan of how this is going to work. When you come home, yeah, we can be together, but it's going to be a work in progress going forward. Like, once you come home, get on your own 2 feet. We can still be with each other. We can rock with each other. Marriage, that shouldn't be in the cards right about now. Let's date for 6 months to a year. Actually, let's date for a year and then reevaluate, this whole relationship as far as if we're going to get married to each other. And as far as my daughter, I want to make sure that this is the real deal Holyfield. Like, I don't want to introduce you into my daughter's life and then you up and dip. But no, she didn't do that. And then she bought him this fucking truck. So she looks stupid. Like I said, there's blame on fault on both parties. But I'm gonna place more fault on her because you're the one with the child. You should have thought about your daughter before you thought about this man. Like, really should have thought about your daughter. Like, really. I think she should have thought more about her child and him. So then the pastor also asked Quaylon, like, who is his biggest supporter? He says, my biggest supporter is actually my mom. But the thing is, my mom and the rest of my family, they're in Texas. My family wants me to come to Texas, but I got Chevelle here who wants me to be here with her. And again, this is another situation that y'all didn't think through. But, I get it. I get it. The emotions were probably high at the time. That don't make it better, and that don't make it right. So then we see Chevelle and Quaylon, they're leaving the pastor. She asked him, how did his conversation go with the pastor? He told her to mind her business. I cracked up when he told her, mind your business. So then they get into an argument with each other, and he gave her the line that's the name of the episode. He told her to put a sweater on and chill. She says, I'm cool. He said, you look like you on fire over there. And they doing this in front of the baby. I'm like, that is ridiculous. Y'all look stupid as fuck. But it was funny as hell to me. But let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys, next let's talk about Shonda and Tyrese. I was looking at that apartment complex that Tyrese lives in, and I was just thinking to myself, for somebody who has money, Why are you living in that place? Because that looks like it is in the hood. And ain't nothing against the hood, but it just didn't look like somebody who, quote unquote, has money. So we find out that he's been calling Shonda, but no answer. It didn't even seem like her voicemail was set up. I think that's what I think that's what it said. The message. This person's voicemail is not set up. Goodbye. So then his daughter and his granddaughter come over, and the daughter is asking, so what's going on with you and Shonda? Like, what's up with that? He's like, oh, I haven't heard from Shonda since she got out of prison. She was like, damn, that was a long time ago. He's like, yep, it's been 2 months. I'm like, damn. You don't have from this girl in 2 months, huh? And you still calling her. After a week, I would have gave up on calling Shonda. I would have been like, you know what, that's a lost cause. After a week, maybe 2, nope, not even a week. I wouldn't even get a vote a week. After 3 days, if I call you and you never return my call, if I text you, you don't return my text, I'm like, okay, you know what? That means you don't want to fuck with me no more, and we good. Like, so for him to be calling her for 2 fucking months, dude, you knew she was playing you. So then, the daughter asked him, so how much money did she spend on her? He says, I ain't spend no money on her. She says, how much money did you put on her books? He said, I probably put about $5 or $10 here or there. I'm like, you're lying to your daughter. Because at the bus station, you allegedly gave her $200. I don't think that was $200. I think that might have been $80 that he gave her. But he's lying through his teeth. He don't want to believe that he got played. But I'm like, yep, Tyrese, your daughter's telling you the truth. Homegirl ran off with your $80 that you gave her and playing you for a fucking fiddle. But that ain't got shit to do with me. He looks stupid, but it ain't got shit to do with me. But let's move on and close the episode out with the true nutcase of this show. Who Jesus? The true nutcase of this show. Fatal Attraction, also known as motherfucking Heather. Dylan. I mean, she is Fatal Attraction. And I even put this in my notes. When they came across the screen, I put Fatal Attraction at its finest. We really got into that she's Fatal Attraction this episode because, she's asking him, so what do you want to do? He says, well, tomorrow I need to go to the DMV so I can get my driver's license. She says, oh, so you can drive me around? He's like, yeah. And then, we find out that he's going to be on parole for 2 years. And, he's going to have to do a drug and alcohol test because he has issues with drugs and he has issues with alcohol. So then he's talking about how, he's ready to meet her aunt. He needs to thank her aunt. I'm like, huh? But then we find out that her apartment flooded just before he got out of prison. So they're going to be staying with her Aunt Diane. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So they make it to her Aunt Diane's house. It's her Aunt Diane. I think it's her Aunt Stacy. So, they introduce, they speak to Dylan. He introduces himself to them. They sit down. They start having a conversation. And it was a friendly conversation. It wasn't anything bad. And, Heather went to the bathroom. And they said something. I forgot what they said. But I think it was Aunt Diane that said something to Dylan about Heather. He said, oh, she'll get over it. And I think she heard that comment, which it wasn't nothing bad. So she came out, I don't feel good. I'm going to go lay down. I don't feel good. I'm going to go lay down. So she goes to the room. He's like, oh, he was like, I'm going to go with her. I'm like, Dylan, you should run for the fucking hills because, she flipped the fuck out. Because the other aunt came back. She's like, can I just spend some time with my husband alone? I just want to spend some time with my husband. I'm like, girl, first of all, he's not your husband. Secondly, that's your yeah. It is something wrong with Heather. Heather is off of her motherfucking rocker. The girl is a loose cannon. She's a Looney Tune. I would run like hell from Heather. Like, I would tell my PO, I'd be like, fuck this. There's something wrong with her. I don't know if she needs meds or if she's on meds and she just forgot to take her meds, but I'm not staying with this because I have a fear of not waking up or waking up to missing body parts. But you guys, that is going to wrap it up for this episode review of love after lockup. Yeah, be sure to like this video, you guys. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Share this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button so you guys are aware of when I drop anything else. And until the next one, you guys, do me a solid favor out there. Stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, wear your mask, and stay cool or warm, whatever the weather is like in your neck of the woods. But until the next one, you guys, I will see you guys later. Bye.